Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Raphael, you can call me Rafa. Some of you, or a lot of you, are wondering why this guy is back in YouTube. But I promise you guys that I will try my very best to be present and to give you guys regular content and also be more consistent with my videos. I can promise you that because my mind is clearer now, can envision my path clearly. I am in the right place. I think I am ready to slay the YouTube game. And with that said, I think that I'll make some changes. So right now I think that I want to focus more on books. So I want this channel to be a booktube. My main content will be about that. I want to do that. I'll still give other content from here and there, just like film reviews and mukbangs and things like that. So with that said, when you clicked on this video, you probably might already know that I'll be reviewing a book that is highly hyped on TikTok, that is overly hyped on YouTube. So you probably are familiar with it. So it is The Midnight Library by Haig. So yeah, you may probably heard of this, you might probably encounter this on your bookstores. So this book is quite popular. A story of me getting this book is when my friend Dana Jasmine Garcia, shout out to you, my boo, sent me a TikTok video, and this is one of the recommended books. So I got interested because of the title, so I looked it up in Goodreads, and then I read some reviews, I read the plot, and I thought that the plot was amazing, so that's why I bought it. I immediately searched for a place where I can buy this. If you're interested, I'm gonna be linking the shop below if you want to get this book as well, if you're in the Philippines. So I'll be doing this book review starting from now, and with book reviews comes my criteria for judging, which is, of course, we have the plot, and then we have the characters, then we have the reading experience, and finally my final thoughts, my overall thoughts on the book. Before all of those criteria, I also wanted to add something, which is the book cover. I'm not including it in my criteria because we all know the saying that we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, so I'm not including that in my criteria, but we'll still talk about it. And also, I want to put out a disclaimer that I am not an expert in any way, I'm just a bookworm, but I want you guys to be respectful in the comments. If you disagree, we can have a healthy discourse down below. So yeah, please leave your comments if you have thoughts. So yeah, I guess let's start.
I'm not asleep, my mind is alive.
So, first thing that we will talk about before our criteria is the book cover. As I said, it's very simple. We have the color blue, the right shade of blue because I'm obsessed with that color, and we have the cartoon version of the Midnight Library in the middle, and then we have the title at the top, which is the Midnight Library. At the bottom, the author Haig, and we have the snippet, which is one library, infinite lives. I prefer those books that are very beautiful and eye-catching. I know that it doesn't matter because what matters is the content. What are we gonna do with a book that has an amazing cover but a very dull content? But I still prefer those books that are eye-catching. It gives us a glimpse of what the author wants to convey. I haven't seen the hard book cover. For me, the paperback version is very simple, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then now we'll go to the criteria of my book review. So first we'll be talking about the plot. So what is the plot of the Midnight Library? So first I want to read you guys the given plot at the back of the paperback version. I'm gonna read it to you right now. Between life and death, there is a library, she said. And within that library, the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived, to see how things would be if you had made other choices. Would you have done anything different if you had a chance to undo your regrets? You might think, that sounds very interesting, and it is interesting indeed. That is the reason why I got the book. The premise is very promising. I think you will wonder how Haig is gonna write about this. It's one of the tropes that we encounter in books on exploring the options that we have in life, exploring what could have been, exploring our what ifs. And I like how Haig put his own twist on it, adding a midnight library. adding a librarian, which we will talk about later. To give you guys a summary of my own, so Nora Seed is our main character. So she is a 35-year-old woman who works at a local instrument shop. She has many regrets. She wonders what she could have been. She wonders what if she ended up with this person. She wonders what if she went with her best friend to this place. So things like that. So she has many regrets just like us. After these problems started to arise, so she encounters a midnight library where she was offered to try on lives that she could have lived. So all of those regrets, all of those what ifs, she got to try them all. Just with that idea, I think it's very interesting, and the way Matt Haig crafted this ideas into this trope is very beautiful and very good, and we'll talk about that. We'll dive deeper into that. So our next criteria, we will be talking about the characters of the book. So the first thing that I'll be talking about when it comes to the characters is that Nora Seed is the only character that has a character arc, that has a character development, because she is the only person that we got to see. She is the only person that we follow throughout the journey of the book, because the other characters keep changing. They vary depending on the life that Nora chooses. So for example, if Nora chooses this life, her brother will be like this, and when Nora chooses this life, her best friend will end up like this. So we don't actually see the improvement and the development of the other characters besides Nora. Nora is the only person, despite having different lives, her thoughts regarding her main life, the base of her life is still there. We can still hear her thoughts about the Midnight Library, on whether this life is for her or not. So she doesn't forget about the Midnight Library and the other lives that she have lived. She's the only character that we got to see the improvement. And also, trigger warning guys, she's very depressed. If you guys think that you are in a dark place, or if you have struggles of your own when it comes to mental health, I recommend that you do not read this, because I think this book is very triggering. So please read this book with a peace of mind, a healthy mind, because this book is not for you if you feel those kind of things, because this book can be very dark. One of the criticisms that this book got is that Matt Haig kind of developed the character of Nora Seed as when it comes to her depression as very light. So they said that Matt Haig took depression very lightly. So I'm not the one to judge a thing like that, because I'm not a depressed person. I don't think that I'm in the right place. If people who are depressed says that it is not the right representation, I totally respect that. Also, she is not a Mary Sue character. She is not perfect. She has her flaws. Although she is very intelligent, she knows a lot of things, she still is not aware of other things. So she is not perfect. She doesn't know everything, despite being perceived as intelligent. The way she handled her regrets is very human. Yes, she has questionable decisions and choices, but I think that's a very good representation of a good character, because it makes her more human and more relatable. In terms of Nora handling her regrets and all of her what ifs and could have beens, I think Nora is very good, very well crafted by Matt Haig. So as I said, the other characters doesn't have character arcs and character development, but there is another character here that is very prominent, and you will see her throughout the book. She is the supporting character to Nora. So, but I still think that she doesn't have a character development, because she doesn't show any emotions. She doesn't show her feelings. She's just there to guide Nora. So she is Mrs. Elm, the librarian. So she is the person that Nora chose. Her mind chose to represent the librarian. So the person who will guide her throughout the infinite lives. But despite being a character that doesn't have a character development, a character that doesn't have emotions, I think that you will still get attached to her the way Nora is attached to that character. I felt like she is a very important person to me too as I read the book. I get very emotional when Nora talks to her. I get very attached to her. So you guys will be too. Mrs. Elm is also a very wonderful character. So other than Nora and Mrs. Alma still have the other characters, which is her brother, her mother, her best friend, her very cute cat. Those are the other characters. They don't have character development, as I said, so we couldn't really talk about them that much. But I think that the way Matt Haig crafted each character into each life is still very impressive. We still get attached to these characters even though they vary depending on the lives. In terms of Matt Haig's crafting of the characters, I think that he did a very great job with them. So the next criteria that we will be talking about is the reading experience. So the reading experience is a very fun subject to talk about. I think that my reading experience with the Midnight Library I think it's very special. That's the thing that the one word that I can associate with my reading experience, I think, because, I read a review about this book on Goodreads, and the writer said that this book will be translated to you on whether you need it at the moment or not. So what he meant by that is that, since this book tackles existential crisis and mental health struggles, so this book questions the meaning of life and the purpose of life. So if this book comes to you when you need it, or when you are experiencing those things yourself, I think that this book will be very special to you too. So I myself experiencing an existential crisis. I also question the meaning of life, why am I here, and my what could have been and my what if. So I think that this book came at the right time. So just a fun fact, since we're talking about my reading experience, I got this book last week, I think, and then I got it in the afternoon, but I only got to read it in the evening. And guess what? I got to read it, the entire thing, in one sitting. So I read it in the evening and then I finished in the morning. So that's how it affected me. That's how it impacted me. The reading experience is very enjoyable and very eye-opening. I think that this book is very eye-opening. It made me realize a lot about life and the way I view life. I think that it did a great job on tackling things that we need to think about. This book is very mind-boggling. It made me reflect on a lot of things. As I said, it came at the right time. It helped me. So the last criteria that we will be talking about is my overall thoughts about the book. So as you can see, based on my criteria, based on the things that I've talked about, this book is very nice and special to me. I don't think that it is perfect in any way, but I think that it is just right. It is well crafted, especially to me who needed the book. I think that the characters were great representations. The plot was very interesting. The way Matt Haig executed everything is good. I also think that Matt Haig tackled a lot of topics that needed to be talked about. I think that this book taught me a lot. I think that this book made me reflect on things that needed to be reflected on. So this book actually made me do this video. It also made me think that what if I turned my channel into a booktube? So this book really did a lot, and it also refreshed my mind. It also gave me, that push to live and to enjoy life. And the one thing that this book taught me, which is very, very important, and I think that a lot of you guys will see as well when you read this book, is that you shouldn't think about the what ifs and what could have been. You shouldn't think about the lives that you could have lived, the choices that you could have taken, because what's important is this life right now, this life that we chose, this life that we have. All those lives that we could have lived, they don't matter because they are in another outcome. We only have this life right now, so this is the only life that matters. As I said, this book is very special. This is a book that made me reflect about life. It gave me the motivation to live without seeking for the purpose. This book is a very beautiful read. And hello guys, Future Rafa here. So while editing this video, I realized that I should have used a 5-star scale just to be in line with, the usual rating of books. So please bear with me. With this video, I used a scale of 1 to 10, which I don't know why I did. So yeah, in the future videos, in future book reviews, I'll be using a 5-star scale. Thank you. On a scale of 1 to 10, on overall, I'm gonna give it maybe an 8.5 over 10. This book is very special to me. I don't think that it is perfect. I still think that it has its downsides and flaws, but I want to focus on the way it helped me and the way it taught me a lot of things. So this book made it happen. So this book made this possible. Without this book, I wouldn't be here right now. It wouldn't inspire me to create this channel. It wouldn't inspire me to make the good things I love, my passion, into my content on YouTube. It gave me a reason to continue this, so that's all I can say about that. So this book is very, very special to me. So yes guys, I think we're done. I think I've talked about all of the things that I needed to talk about. So yes guys, I think that we have talked about all of the things that we needed to talk about. I hope that I helped you if you are searching for a review that will tell you if you wanted this book or not, if this book is for you or not. So I hope I helped. If you did find this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. I am very much excited to explore more things with you, more books, more adventures with you. So my next video will be about this book. I'll get it right now. So this book is another book that is very hyped on BookTube and Book Talk, and I'm very excited to read this. I've been dying to read this and open this and smell it. I wasn't able to read this, and I didn't want to read this yet because I wanted to make the Midnight Library first, the review, and then I'm going to vlog about this. So you guys will be joining me in my journey in reading this book. You will see my reactions. You will see how it affected me in every read. So I will film myself while reading this, and then I will film a book review about it in the end. So I'm very excited about this so much. Oh god. So yes, thank you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you continue to support me and be with me. I have many things planned after this video and after the video after The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Please stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. This has been Raphael. You can call me Rafa, and I'll see you next time.